G'day guys, how's it going? It is JarradHD here. Welcome to episode number 10 of season 1 of the Arsenal Career Mode series. We're going to kick off today's episode seeing that we are going to get a little bit of money from the Capital One Cup and Kieran Gibbs gets injured. The first matchup for today's episode is round 14 in the Premier League. We are taking on the Britannia Stadium. We are taking on Stoke City. They have a fairly decent lineup. I actually do have a career mode with Stoke City, which I just play for the fun of it offline, and they have some real guns. Arnautovic and Juve are just some of the best players I have ever used on career mode this year. And speaking of that man, Arnautovic, he almost gives Stoke the lead there. His shot is hit straight at Szczesny, but then Nzonzi, he's on the ball. The Frenchman passed it out wide to Arnautovic, who plays it over to Peter Crouch, but he is denied from Szczesny. Speaking of Peter Crouch, the Newcastle Jets in Australia are actually linked with him, so that would be pretty decent if I got to see Peter Crouch play in the flesh. But anyways, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain does slot it past Asmir Begovic here in the 14th minute to give us a 1-0 advantage, and to be honest, I thought it was very undeserving. Stoke absolutely dominated us in the opening of this matchup, but that man there, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, has made it even again, and then he whips it into Danny Welbeck, who does double our lead, giving us a 2-0 advantage just before halftime. A beautiful ball from Oxlade-Chamberlain and a great headed goal from Danny Welbeck. Haven't been too impressed from him, but he finally gets the goal. Peter Odemwingie, though, makes this matchup a little bit more interesting. A 2-1 scoreline, and the Nigerian man finishes what was a pretty decent goal there from the Potters, but then in the closing half an hour of the game, Riziki is denied from Asmir Begovic. It goes back to Jack Wilshere, who has a dig, and I thought for a second that one flew into the top left-hand corner. That would have been absolutely insane. But then Danny Welbeck, he's looking for an option, finds it in Oxlade-Chamberlain, who has been on fire this game. Oxlade-Chamberlain looks to wrap the game up, but unfortunately, Begovic is able to save it. But then 90th minute, ÖZIL, a beautiful weighted ball there to Danny Welbeck. He's one-on-one. He's going to take the strike. Could have easily scored the sweaty goal. Hits it off the post, but fortunately, the referee blows full time, and we have defeated Stoke City 2-1 at the Britannia Stadium. A very important 3 points. The second matchup of today's episode is a group stages matchup, the final group stages matchup in the Champions League. We are traveling to Ukraine to take on Shakhtar Donetsk. They have a pretty cool stadium, the Donbass Arena, but hopefully we can pick up all 3 points in this matchup. Have to watch out for a few decent players, Douglas Costa and Bernard importantly, but then Arsenal, this is our lineup, and it is a very strong lineup. Koscielny in the midfield, but besides that, it's basically a full strength squad. Also, Serge Gnabry does come into the squad, but 12 minutes into it, Gnabry squaring it back to Cazorla, who takes a strike and almost gives us a 1-0 advantage. I meant to square it into Benzema, but somehow the game decided that Cazorla was the better option. But here we go, 49 minutes into it, Benzema getting around the defenders, and really should have put that one at the back of the net. It does not matter though, as Coquelin is able to somehow thread that into the back of the net, giving us a 1-0 advantage. A very good finish there from the young midfielder on a strange angle as well. Not quite sure, the defender probably could have got to that one, but as you can see there, it was kind of a bit difficult. Very happy to be in the lead though, as Teixeira passes it to Douglas Costa, back to Teixeira. Teixeira's looking for an option, takes a strike and almost pings that one into the top right hand corner. Fortunately, it does not make it into the top right corner, but then with about 25 minutes to play, Serge Gnabry is unleashed. He's going to square it to Benzema. Benzema with the finish, and it is an own goal there. Takes a wicked deflection off the defender, and he gives us a 2-0 advantage, securing our way into the round of 16, the knockout rounds. and that's pretty sick. Very lucky to get that own goal. But then in the final minutes of the game, 90th minute stoppage time, Benzema, it goes to Oxlade-Chamberlain, 1-on-1 with the keeper, and you definitely would expect Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain to finish it from that angle. He gives us a 3-0 advantage and a 3-0 victory over Shakhtar Donetsk, which is going to put us into the next round of the Champions Cup. Absolutely pleased with that. But bad news, as Alexis Sanchez suffered a sprained ankle, 3 weeks on the sidelines for him. But we do get a little bit more happy as we get £10 million added to our piggy bank after the Champions Cup knockout rounds qualification. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Round 15 of the Premier League is finally at home. Our first home matchup for the episode, we are taking on Newcastle United, who are struggling in real life. But hopefully they do continue that in real life form into the game. We are rocking a relatively strong lineup. Do have Bellerin and a few players of that caliber in the lineup. But Benzema, the main man, he's on the ball. He's going to play it through to Rosicky. A beautiful ball and a beautiful calm finish there from Rosicky, who gives us a 1-0 advantage only 6 minutes into this game. That is absolutely fantastic. Rosicky, nice and calm finish there. Pushing on though, it is going to be the 8th minute. Newcastle looking to get a goal back, but Howardez does make a good challenge. It goes straight to Jack Colback, Moussa Sissoko, Cheick Tiote to Gabriel Obertan, and the French right midfielder. His shot is very, very tame, hitting it straight at Szczesny. Obertan once again involved in the play. A nice little 1-2 there with Cheick Tiote. He whips it into Moussa Sissoko. It goes to Cheick Tiote, and how do they not score there? Szczesny making a great and a very clutch save. But then 34 yards out, freaking Mesut Ozil. What a finish, son. 57 minutes into it. He has a freaking dig and smashes it into the top right hand corner. That is absolutely insane from Mesut Ozil, one of my favourite players in real life. That is just a class finish. Nothing Tim Krul really could have done about that. Absolutely fantastic. And I went absolutely nuts when I scored that. Although Tim Krul, not the greatest at goalkeeping, buddy, but still class from Mesut Ozil. Newcastle looking for a way back into it. Remy Cabella, man, Newcastle should be all tied up, but Szczesny, he is playing out of his skin. Stephen Taylor to Remy Cabella, and Newcastle, they can just not score. If this was in real life, I could just see the True Geordies video after this game, just going nuts and saying, we cannot fucking score, the fucking cunts. But it's lucky it's not in real life. But we beat Newcastle United 2-0 at home, a great victory. And Paul McDonald brings us the monthly scouting update. Nobody too great. I do look at a few of these players, and I do decide to sign a few players. I signed Dean McLeod here, 70-90 potential, but then I reject a few players that don't look like they're going to be anything promising. I do decide to continue scouting a few players, and then I decided to reject the majority of the players. Nothing too special there, but not too bad. The final matchup of today's episode is another matchup in the Premier League. We are taking on Southampton at home once again. Hopefully we can continue our amazing form. 3 wins from 3 in this episode, and we are on absolute hotcakes. This is the lineup we are rocking, not our strongest lineup. We've got a bit of fixture congestion on our hands, but we are pushing through it quite nicely. Southampton, a very nice side. Abu Diaby making his return to the Emirates. We did sell him to Southampton, but Santi Cazorla's free kick shot there, a little bit tame. And then 54 minutes into it, Santi Cazorla once again on the ball, playing it through to that guy Welbs. Danny Welbeck, the goalkeeper just kind of stops, and a really poor effort there from Danny Welbeck, who had a very good angle in my opinion, really should have got it past the keeper. His back was kind of turned to him as well, so don't really know what Kelvin Davis was doing there. But then 62 minutes into it, Ryan Bertrand on the ball here for Southampton. He passes it out wide to Morgan Schneiderlin. Schneiderlin back to Bertrand. Bertrand into Graziano Pelle. Pelle fortunately heads it over the crossbar. And that wraps up what was a very, very boring matchup. One of the most boring FIFA games I have played in a very long time, a 0-0 draw against Southampton. Lads, look at that. We are still undefeated and we are running away with the league. Our closest competition is our North London rivals in Spurs, so we need to just turn on the burners like we have been. 14 wins, 2 draws and 0 losses. That is absolutely insane. But anyways fellas, make sure that you do let me know who you would like me to sign in the January transfer window. I am 2 episodes ahead at the moment, and I'm going to record the transfer window episodes very soon, so let me know who I should sign. Make sure that you do smash the crap out of that like button if you did enjoy this episode. Make sure that you do subscribe if you are new around here. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. The links are always, as always, in the description. But most importantly fellas, it has been JarradHD here. I'm out. Peace.
It's funny how it all started with a vision. I was chilling with my dogs, trying to talk to bitches, but the bitches blew me off. Now everything is different cause they wish